trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. And realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home, that is the home of your spirit, and that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Mossi Warrior Clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomena with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Mossi Warrior Clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.
Sutek tried to line it up, and he was like, I don't debate y'all. Y'all too disrespectful. Aboriginal Power won't even debate Sean because he's too disrespectful.
He is, though. No, he really is, though. I can't really, like you, bro, you cool. Not a coincidence. I actually chop it up, cuz. But niggas that come off too heated and disrespectful, like I said, I'll debate you, bro, but we got to get in the ring first. If you want to be disrespectful like that, at least disrespect me in the ring, bro.
Oh, God, bro.
Let's start now, bro. Can you disrespect me in a cage, bro? Like, I'd rather just do that. Then we go straight from the cage. You know what I mean? Put your ice on the way to the motherfucking computer, and we'll debate directly after that, nigga. Shit.
That's why I don't need these. Fucking with the nigga and shit. You feel me? Like, it's like, wait, bro, talk like that, man. We gotta get face to face with you to talk to you like that, my nigga.
Yeah, Peanut. You feel? Go ahead, I got my brother over here. Peanut, what's the word, my brother? What's the challenge?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, but lucky, let me say this, man. First of all, I'm an older brother. I'm young in spirit because I stay in shape. And I'm older. I deserve respect. Don't lie on me. You're not going to get nowhere lying because that's what's going to make you fall face first. Second of all, I'm well known in the Pan-African community. I'm not nobody new. You're younger than me. You don't know this. I didn't put in work and expose Rob Bourne, Sutek, any of them people over there. They know it deep down inside. And I'm gonna be long-winded. I'm a Moorish American. I already had back and forth with them dude. They erased videos. I'm not running from anybody. Don't ever say that stupid shit again. Third, and last but not least, I'm not losing no debate to no Pan-African, so don't ever say that shit again, famo. And that's it. Appreciate y'all, man.
He heard it. If Sean P want to debate, tell him to debate the champ over there, right?
Sutek wanted so this like it's a pecking order. It's a pecking. So Sean want you, and Sutek want him. say PMF ain't on his
No
life.
problem. It's no problem, man. Let's set up a Sutek debate, man. I don't like him anyway.
Okay, so I love that from you, brother. I love that warrior mentality.
That's how it's going. I love to tell Sutek, tell people. There ain't nothing. My champ always in the chat. Have them pop in. We'll set a topic. We'll set a date. We'll make it pay-per-view. We'll chop it up behind the scenes. I get their contact. We'll make it work. You heard it right here. He ain't ducking no favors, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. He do this over here on y'all channel, and then when we get in other
Hey,
channels.
alright, I will block your ass, nigga, because I'm well known for disrupting them chats over there. Nigga, stop fucking lying, nigga. You a goofy, nigga. I would never let a lame ass nigga lie on me in my face, clown.
You gonna block me and I don't be
It ain't no time I ain't ever been on the Pan Africa channel and made my impact. Stop lying. I'm a real man, bro. Stop lying, fam. Don't do PNF like that.
PNF, he trying to trigger you, brother. And
word the fuck up.
But listen, he did that to me, talking about, oh, word on the street, I'm ducking from John Big. I've never even had but one conversation with this little disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah, he a little hot. He like that.
So he like,
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find
his
y'all?
own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all
I
did.
don't feel like you standing on business.
And y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, you ain't a Chickasaw, you ain't a Blackfoot, nigga get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, you ain't a Chickasaw, you ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost, you just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK. TKO. Now he's a con. OTK. You died. TKO. Genealogy.
And peace to everybody in the chat. Your boy Sean P in the place to be. Please like the show, share the show, tell a friend. We live. I see the gang in the chat. I see Ramon talking about the Steelers. Thurman was good. Edward was good. PE #1 was good. Teddy. TG Midwest. Ricardo, what's going on? Keenan was good. Infinite Minds. Vasa. And everybody else that hadn't said anything, oh, Sister IB in the building. Everybody else, man, they just either catching a replay or may come in late. Peace to you. Salute. We got a brief show. I just want to kind of get into some stuff, and I wanna put this on display. I wanted to do this now. Brother YK had dropped a video the other day, and if you hadn't watched the video, I highly recommend you watch it. I watched it about 3 or 4 times because I wanted to put myself in a position to comprehend the ignorance, or try to comprehend the ignorance behind the person he's having a discussion with. What's good, Akili? What's up? What's up? But yeah, man, I'm glad that everybody here. I haven't shared the show, so please share the show. Peace to the Brother Turtle Gang all day long, man. You know what I'm saying? And the work you're doing, brother. You and TG. Appreciate y'all, brothers, man, all the way, and all of and everybody else out there in the community. But before we get started, this is one of the other reasons I wanted to do this show. It has come to my attention that someone who supported the channel, supported the work that we were doing to educate our brothers and sisters about who we are and our history, and we wasn't the type of people that were degrading another group of people, has passed. The sister has passed. It's been a battle. It's been a fight. This is something that has been going on for a while. She held her pain to herself. She kept it in secrecy, but she had fallen ill and slipped into a coma. And from there, the battle had begun for her. She has now, I believe, like as of last week, a few days ago, I should say, she has been laid to rest. And, in her traditions, she is living through those indigenous practices of her ancient ancestors, as we should say, or as we were told by her sister. And so we won't see her in the chat anymore. It's a little disheartening, to say the least. You may have seen her in the chat under the profile name Manny. And I hope I'm not stepping on any toes. I didn't want to say her name before when I had mentioned it, but now that we know the ultimate outcome of the battle the sister had, I just want y'all to, if you are friends with her on social media, TikTok or any other platform, keep her in your hearts and minds, her family in your hearts and minds, and as she would for you, and people that are close to her, because there's somebody that I know that is close in communications and in that energy. So the sister has transitioned to be an ancestor in her traditions, and rightfully so. And they move pretty quickly with their procedures and things of that nature. And she was an indigenous woman. I think she might have been had a little African in her too. I don't know. I don't want to put too much on that, but she through the traditions and first peoples of the people who actually inhabited this land, she was laid to rest in her land that her ancestors inhabited thousands of years ago. So look at the chat real quick. It's no comprehension left for Ling Ling. He's a sucker. Correct, Ava. Peace to you, by the way. But yeah, man. So let's get to it. What I want to do is I'm going to play this video all the way through with no interruption. It's about 20-some minutes. If you're smart enough, what's up here? If you're smart enough, I want you to listen for the claim and the evidence. The claim and the evidence. Okay? The title of this show today is called Aboriginal Ignorance on Display, and that's what the hell it's going to be. And I want you to digest that and comprehend that so that we can elevate. Again, please like the show, share the show, tell a friend, we live. We should have a lot more people in the building. This is going to get interesting. What I'm going to do again, like I said, is I'm going to play the video first. And then we're going to get into what we need to know. And I promise you, this is impactful. And I have a lot of information to cipher through. And we're going to handle it like G's. So I'm going to play it through. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to try to play it through without no interruptions. 22 minutes.
In different fucking tribes. Question to Lingling. Because if you're from the Yamasi, how are you claiming 10 different fucking tribes, bro? Make it make sense. Who and prove that you actually come from those people. What's your proof, brother?
One question at a time, bro.
All right. What's your proof that you come from those people, brother?
So did I hear a Gish Gallop from YK?
No, I simplified it. To prove that you was already here, brother. Since you saying you come from all those people.
Right. My proof that I come from here is through my genealogy, through oral history, and also what Europeans documented about the American Negro being unquestionably Indian, especially the Southern Negro. Hello, and this is from the Bureau of American Ethnology.
Okay. What's the name of the document? The genetic, genealogical.
Wait on. Keep it firm. He answered your question, and he gets to ask you one. What question do you have for YK?
Go ahead.
So, gotcha. So you like using haplogroups. How can you use that to prove race when race is a made-up construct? And you just sitting up here saying that, oh, they're using this Asian example.
What's your question?
The same question. How are you using DNA to prove your racial theories?
That's your question. Got you. One, we're saying that we're using DNA to trace our ancestry, not our race. Now, I got a question for you, brother. What document, because you said you got genealogy, what genealogical document verifies that you was already here? And it has to predate the 1500s, brother, before the white man came here. So what record you got? Since you said genealogy, what is it?
Pottery. You got oral history. Next question. Your checkmated.
What's the genealogy record? I'm not talking about no damn
nigga,
pottery.
there is no fucking written record.
So you don't got
before
no
the 1500s, no Indian was writing on a piece of paper.
So you don't have no genealogy. That's
American Indians, yes, we do have genealogy, fool.
So
it's documents that go to the colonial period, fool.
So your name and your ancestors is on the pottery? This is what you're saying?
Are you being retarded?
Hold on. I'm still moderating you niggas because y'all gonna be all over the place. He has to ask you one. You have a question for YK, brother?
Yes, I do. So, what was the indigenous name of his self-proclaimed West African tribe for Africa? And it better not be no Greco-Roman name. It better not be no Arab name. It gotta be a name that the people chose for their land.
I don't know it, but at the end of the day, if I just told you that it could have been called turtle soup, just like a lot of you niggas is running around here calling yourselves Indian. Your people didn't call you that. A lot of y'all are calling yourselves Moors. Y'all didn't call yourselves that. A lot of y'all, so don't ask me a question that you can't prove yourself. Now, back to
what we can prove this.
I answered you. Now let me answer.
No, it's not simple. That's galloping. You have to be in order for you to be an Aboriginal.
That's my question, brother.
No, nigga, we're gonna keep aggressive, nigga. Let him Ask you the damn question.
Thank you, sir. Now, how does pottery prove your genealogy, meaning your people, where you come from? Make that make sense.
So how does pottery prove that? It's a part of archaeology, right? And that's a part of genealogy. Oh, so how in the world can you sit up here and criticize the definition of Aborigine, but you can't prove your Aboriginal status to Africa without having a fucking name to your fucking landmass?
Is that your
Answer the question?
Your question? All right, cool.
Answer the goddamn question.
Because unlike you, I actually have real records that say my great grandparents were
before
born
the 1500s.
Wait, bro, let me finish.
Let me answer the question. Bro.
That say they were born in Africa. Now, what is the name of this pottery that proves that you are indigenous to America? We need to know the name of this pottery, sir.
The Etowah pottery.
What's the name of it?
You got the Etowah mound pottery.
You said the Etowah. So the Etowah.
Yes, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yes, these are Muskogean people.
What's your question, brother? What's your question?
Oh, well, they take place. Hold on, Klein. They take place.
What's your question, brother?
This is how retarded you are. You say, oh, you claiming 10 different American tribes. Nigga, these are a part of the Muskogean culture. See, this is how you're ignorant. You don't study.
Go ahead, brother.
So my question to you is, can you prove that you are from Africa using colonial records and you don't have any evidence you're from Africa in the 1500s? You just asked me.
Okay. Now, if I have ancestors that were born in Africa, they would have to come from Africa. So that automatically predates the 1500s.
Without an indigenous name.
Oh, let me finish, brother. That would prove that they wasn't already. That's simple. Now, I got another question for you, right? You said the Etowah pottery. What is the pottery? Don't say Etowah pottery. What type of Etowah pottery?
Vases?
Vases. All right.
Yes.
So, okay. Now, what's your question, brother? What's your question?
Again, like I said, how can you prove you come from that place if you don't have an Aboriginal name for that shit? You're using European words.
Okay. We'll say that again.
How can you sit up here and lie to the people that you come from a place where you didn't even name the shit? You just going for European measure.
So basically, I'm answering the question that I already answered again. I answered again because, like I said, they could call it anything. That place still exists. Just like if you was to get on a plane, fuck it, you could call it whatever you like. If you want to say, wake up and say, I'm gonna name this bitch Turtle Island, you can name it Turtle Island, but does it because it's named Turtle Island doesn't mean it's not there, or does it mean I don't come from there? No, you. To dumb logic. Now I got a question for you, brother. Right? You saying that you have these bases that prove this is who you are. So is there anything that's written on those vases that lets you know this is who you are? How do we know that this vase proves who you are, brother?
Oh Lord, Jesus Christ. People did not write in the English language on the vase. They drew pictures on it. So can you decipher pictures as a writing system? No. So I ask to you again, how can you prove that you come from that place overseas if you do not have any extra details but language that was given to you by a Greco-Roman and a white supremacist telling you that you come from someplace else and you can't even be from here?
Okay, since I'm gonna be answering the same question all night, I'm gonna just keep answering it different ways in the same.
You can't answer it the same way. You gotta answer it differently. I'm giving you different questions, answers.
Let me answer you. Simple. The same way you guys call yourselves American Indians. They wasn't calling themselves American Indians.
Let him answer the question.
The same way you guys are calling yourselves American Indians and a lot of these names, because Yamasees, that starts with the letter Y. All of the letters are English letters. So the same way you're using European letters is the same way I'm using European letters. Now, that's what I was asking you. What vase, how does a vase tell who your great-great-parents are, and it improves your genealogy? How is that logically possible?
Right. So they use that in archaeology, like I fucking said, and archaeology is a part of genealogy. It's a point of reference that your people were here. They got genetics on that pottery. So again, like you say, like you listen, like, I'm not finished. Because you like to use that coctogen furnace shit. So how can you prove these people are fucking African when you don't even have that oral history of these bones? So you don't even have these fucking people's relatives. You don't have these other genetic samples that disprove the African slave ship story. So what are you talking about? You anti-archaeology now? What is this shit?
Let me answer your
My question is, are you anti-archaeology?
Hold on, brother, because you asked one question. I'm listening very well. You said, how come? Because they actually have the genetics of those people, and they have the genetic information of those people, and it's people that's alive today that share those same genetics, which you just flipped up and just daggered yourself because you act like I didn't hear you say it was genetics on the tape. But you had to catch yourself really quick, though. I'm listening, brother. You said they got genetics. So now you believe in DNA. I'm not finished. Now you believe in DNA. So this is my question. Because I could have let me finish elaborating on what you said, and then I'm gonna answer my question. If I had a damn rock in my hand, right? And I said, look, I have this rock right here. And this rock take me back to my people. How? We don't even know where you got this shit from. How does that verify your genealogy, brother? It doesn't.
Right. So genetics deals with the food you eat, the fucking the people that you're fucking related to, your fucking eye color, your fucking hair texture, all of that shit, right? How can you figure out a fucking race through a fucking continental paradigm through fucking Carl Linnaeus, nigga? A Crayola crayon concept assignment to continents is your evidence?
What's your question, brother?
Are you retarded?
All right, so that's not how it works. For one,
yeah, it is, right, because your methodology is through eugenics.
Let me answer you. Because we are actually matching the people that's in Africa today. Like, I have a match from somebody that's in Africa today. So
yeah, you can have an overlapping match to people in Europe and America.
Bite my tongue. Let me finish, bro. So if I'm using DNA today to find my matches and shit, you can't say it's Crayola nothing, bro. I'm still trying to fathom your magical vase that tells you who your people are, and you sitting here acting like I'm supposed to believe your magical vase proves who you are. So once again,
we gotta believe in your forgetful tree magic.
Hold on, bro. Because I know there's no dumbass, there's nobody dumb on this platform, bro. How the fuck does a vase is archaeology, not genealogy, brother?
Yeah, that is also genealogy too, by the way.
No, it's not. It's archaeology.
Yeah, it is. Artifacts, heirlooms,
genealogy.
Land.
Hold on. It's genealogy if somebody left something on it that verifies they were, brother, because we don't know who gave it to you. You could have been a grave robber, a grave digger. So just because a European could be holding on to some shit from America, so because he got it now, that means that's his people, brother. You're not making no sense. So once again, how does a fucking vase prove who you are? You haven't answered it yet.
How does you claiming to be circled around a forgetful tree magic? No, you just get Gallup several
question.
You just get several bullshit to try and filibuster and say your African claim.
How does a vase prove your genealogy, brother? I'm not going to let you stop.
You got people's fingerprints on that vase, right? Constructed the pottery, right? People carbon date that shit too, right?
What's your question now? Because you answered.
Hello.
What's your question?
Bro, you beat yourself up every fucking time.
Said some fingerprints.
Oh my goodness, bro. You keep beating yourself up.
Go ahead.
How can you believe that you come from Africa? No fucking genetics overlap into other populations.
What's your question?
You cannot prove you are an African when those base pairs cannot point you to nobody.
What's your question, brother?
I just gave you the question.
What's your question?
Blurt it out. How can you use that DNA shit to prove you come from Africa when all those populations overlap with those billions of base pairs? No. Then you're getting into claiming that we come from a race.
So that's your question? That's your question?
You clown?
All right, yes. I'm not gonna call you no names, bro, because I'm about to beat your ass intellectually. So you're basically saying some shit that don't even make any sense. You're not going to be sharing all of these genetic similarities with these people in Africa if you don't have a common ancestor. That's hands down. Now let me ask you a question back to this. So you telling me that fingerprints were on a fucking vase for thousands and thousands of years, bro? It has to be the most dumbest shit I've ever heard, bro. I'm gonna keep beating you up. So what proves?
How is that a dumb thing? This is how special needs this nigga is. Motherfucker, have you ever touched pottery? Are you an artist?
Fingerprints, bro.
Are you an artist, nigga?
That's your question?
No.
Let me ask you a question. No, you only get one question. You only get one question. You only get one question and wasted it. No, I'm not an artist. Now, let me answer the question.
So you ain't never touched pottery. So you can't sit here and say, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
All right, so you asked the question, so let me answer you. No, I'm not an artist. Now, let's go back to these 10,000-year-old fingers.
Right, so you ain't never touched a vase. You ain't never made a vase. You ain't never made a mug for your mom when you was a little kid. Said number one mom. Hold on.
Brother, and my artist said no. Now let me ask you a question, brother. When you're dealing with, everybody knows when you're dealing with fingerprints, right? Your fingerprints are something that's unique, right? So are you saying that your fingerprints matches the fingerprint have the same fingerprints at all? So how the fuck, flying fuck, are you using fingerprints to prove who you are? Let's make it make sense.
Hold on. Aren't you familiar with CSI? You love genetic using science, right? Hold on. This is how stupid this nigga is. So CSI also uses craniometrics. It also uses fingerprints. It also uses sperm samples. It uses DNA, right? But you can't figure out what a person's race is through some haplogroup babble. You gotta figure out through other means, like craniometrics.
Got you. Now, what's your
question? So again, my question is, how can you prove you are a West African without using a white man's measuring stick?
For one, let me answer you. For one, Rick, I know, pause, no Diddy. For one, Rick Kittles is a black man who has his own thousands and thousands of African database that the white man don't even got. So I answer your question. Now let me go back to my question. How? Because now you're going to jump to craniology, bro. I got a whip on your ass, no diddy. How do you use fingerprints to trace your genealogy when fingerprints are unique? Don't talk about craniology, DNA. You said fingerprints on that base proves your genealogy. So how does fingerprints prove your genealogy if they're unique, brother?
For one, you can't prove with fingerprints alone.
Oh my God.
They also use bodies to connect those people to that pottery, right?
Yeah, they got bodies.
Yes. Those fingerprints have bodies, right? And guess what? Those people are also related to niggas. Hello. So again,
I'm dying. So they got bodies. So what's your question?
Yes.
Brother? I want to have you the opportunity to ask a question as well. What's your question?
Yes, Negro.
What's your question?
So again,
ask me a
just
question.
like you want to claim to be from West Africa.
You answered it, brother.
No. Just like you claim you from Africa, right? What tools do they use to make a connection to Black Americans if all they're using is lookership? Answer the question.
Yes, sir. I will gladly. For one, you have something that's called mitochondria DNA that doesn't change. It actually stays the same. So if you and let's say somebody else in Africa have those same genetic markers, that would mean that your common ancestor was the same. So there's so many tools. You do know DNA is a tool. I mean, you just said it. You said CSI use DNA. So I'm starting to low-key believe
Not just that, they use craniometrics, they use fingerprints,
I gave you respect,
all types of shit.
All right, let me finish answering.
But you answer the question. How do they prove?
Answering the question.
Are you answering the question? How do they prove the African shit and their shit?
Let me
What's the question?
Let me finish, brother. Because they're not cool. They're not only using lookers. That's what you fail to realize that, bro. I got records that prove this shit, the 1880 census. I got my great grandfather World War I draft card that proved this shit, bro. You got history. Smoke made something very clear today, brother. Smoke made something clear. Smoke said, why the fuck is so many niggas saying they from Africa, but no fucking body saying they Indian, bro? I'm about to write a fucking book of all the narratives of motherfuckers saying, yo, my peoples got snatched off that. They got brought on that boat. Thousands. But I can't find one motherfucker that said he was already here. A nigga that said, yo, my peoples was already here, bro. You can't find it. That's a discrepancy that you guys gotta live with, bro. Now let me ask my question. How the fuck did you get from a fingerprint to a body? Now, what body do you have that proves your DNA, brother? I mean, proves your genealogy. What's the name of this body, brother?
Brother, we got all types of fucking bodies, like Guadalupe. We got the people that's buried in the Cypress caskets in Louisiana French Quarter.
All right, so we just heard the video all the way through. Okay. And appreciate those of you who just tapped in while the video was playing. You know what I mean? I know it's a few people in and out. I appreciate everybody tapping in. So now we're at the point where I'm going to play it again, but in pieces. Okay? In pieces. Because I want to show y'all something. And I know I'm going to have to unshare, reshare for the audio purposes and the whole 9 yards, but let's get to it.
Question to Ling Ling, because if you're from the Yamasi, how are you claiming 10 different fucking tribes, bro? Make it make sense. Who and prove that you actually come from those people. What's your proof, brother?
One question at a time, brother.
All right. So what's your proof that you come from those people, brother?
So did I hear Gallup from YK?
No, I simplified it. What's your proof that you was already here, brother? Since you saying you come from all those people.
My proof that I come from here is through my genealogy, through oral history, and also what Europeans documented about the American Negro being unquestionably Indian, especially the Southern Negro.
All right. So he said that he could prove that he's been here through his genealogy, through oral traditions. And then he says what he just said, through white man. Hear him again. I know it's hard to listen to this guy, and I understand, but hear him again.
I come from here is through my genealogy, through oral history, and also what Europeans documented about the American Negro being unquestionably Indian, especially the Southern Negro.
Okay. With confidence, he said through his genealogy. With confidence, he said through the white man's records. With confidence, he said with oral traditions. He has not provided any evidence for any of those things. He could have said through oral traditions. Here's an example. Bloom, 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 bloom. Through my genealogy, according to such and such records, he never mentioned. But what he did mention is this white man record, right? That's what he said. So we're going to start with a white man and deal with this real quick. So I'm just going to kind of touch on a couple of things, and then I'm going to get back to it. All right, you see my source. Unit 2, Africa, Europe, and the rise of the Afro-America, 1441 to 1619. This is background, and I'm not going to read all of this background. And the reason I'm not going to read all of this background is because I actually have other evidence to add to this. But it says the continuing presence of persons of African descent on soil that became the United States begins in 1619 with the arrival of 20 Africans at Jamestown, Virginia, aboard a Dutch warship from the West Indies. Their arrival was part of a transatlantic slave trade lasting almost 4 centuries and accompanying the larger process of European colonization of the New World. This trade involved transporting African slaves to the Americas so their labor could be used in the economic development of this vast region. Let me pause real quick. Let me mount the evidence for this story. So give me a second. He said he got records. I got better records. So I just brought up the 1619 Virginia's first Africans. This is supported by primary research in museums. Already been supported. Yep, it's already been supported. Many of you have already seen this before when I brought this out in regards to debunking some other things, but I don't know if y'all really took these sources serious. This tells the story of those first Africans who were exactly in the Caribbeans, and then that ship being kidnapped. Being robbed, and then those kidnapped victims, their location where they came from on San Juan Bautista. As you can see on the screen, I'm not going to go to the pages. I'm giving you the synopsis right here. So the first Africans that were brought to what we know today as the United States were on a boat called San Juan Bautista. They're coming from the Congo region. Okay. 20-some odd Negroes is what the story is called. Everybody is familiar with it. The San Juan Bautista was hijacked in the Caribbean by two ships. Those 2 ships was the White Lion and the Treasurer. When the White Lion and the Treasurer jacked them, they split the load in half. So you had some going in one direction and some going in the other direction. And I'm saying this for a reason, because the white lion goes to Virginia, but the treasurer goes to Florida. Now with these people from the Congo that they just stole off the San Juan Bautista, they can't sell them in Florida. So the treasurer makes a loop, ends up in Virginia, and sells whoever they had remaining left. They sell them after the first Africans were sold. So that's why you see the number go up. It's if you really know and study the actual evidence regarding this implication of the first blacks in the Americas. Now I'm gonna go a little bit further, but I'm trying to give you a synopsis. So again, they were kidnapped and sold. They entered they rode the ship, the San Juan Bautista. It was a large sum of these people. Some people died along the way. It was more than just 20 people. But I'm 20 some odd Negroes is because what was dispersed out of what they kidnapped and split. Now that you know that, there are supportive records that deal with this, okay? He said that the white man records say. So I went right here because I know that this source that I'm sharing on the screen, deals with primary evidence, court records, and other documents that have been researched and supported by the first Africans. That's why you see in this right here what we got going on. Now, me being me, let me go to my next source. Remember, he said he trusts the white man. Well, whatever the white man records say and how they implement or implicate certain things. So again, ladies and gentlemen, the white man is telling you the Library of Congress, we dealing with primaries, we dealing with their story. They're telling us Africans came to the New World in the earliest days of the Age of Exploration. In the early 1500s, Africans trekked across the many lands in North, Central, and South America that were claimed by Spain. Some coming in freedom, some in slavery, working as soldiers, interpreters, and servants. Explorers of African descent joined the expeditions of Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, Ponce de Leon, Hernan Cortez, Hernando de Soto, and many more. Esteban Dorantes, also known as Estevanico, who was born a Moroccan. Everybody's familiar with that, about the guy over goddamn Texas, right? Born in Morocco, held in slavery by the Spanish captain, traveled to Cuba to what is now Florida, was shipwrecked near Galveston, and served as a scout and interpreter along the journeys throughout Mexico and the land that is now the state of New Mexico. As European powers increasingly sought to establish long-term colonies in the Americas, increasing numbers of Africans came to the continents. Often against their will. Free and enslaved Africans lived in Spanish Florida by the late 16th century, and in the 1619, a year before English pilgrims arrived at Plymouth, Massachusetts, and a group of 20 and odd African people was brought to England's Jamestown colony in Virginia in captivity. These individuals had been caught up in the transatlantic slave trade, a web of international commerce of human suffering that was entangling Europe, the Americas, and Africa. As it expanded, this institution will bring about a profound change in society, politics, and everyday life of multiple continents, and will shape the African experience in America for centuries to come. There you go. So we're at the doorstep of the first. Okay. All right. So I provided you not one, not two, but three of these white man's records that he would like to talk about. And I can give you another one. Okay. I can give you another one. All right. It's the colonial American Revolution. It's their timeline. Right. But I'm gonna come back to that. Let's get back to the video. Let me unshare, reshare, because we lost our audio. What up, Thomas, Oklahoma? What's good with you?
Hello, and this is from the Bureau of American Ethnology.
Okay. What's the name of the document? The genetic,
Hold on,
genealogical.
wait, hold on. You gotta keep it fair. This is your question now. He just to ask you one. What question do you have?
All right.
So, right, gotcha. So you like using haplogroups.
That document that he just claimed at the end does not exist. It does not exist, and it does not support what he is saying. I'm gonna say it one more time. Whatever he just claimed in the video does not exist. He said from a federal document of ethnology, he's lying. And he can't prove it.
Grids. How can you use that to prove race when race is a made-up construct? And you just sitting up here saying that, oh, they're using this Asian example.
What's your question?
It's the same question. How are you using DNA to prove your racial theories?
That's your question. Got you. For one, we're saying that we're using DNA to trace our ancestry, not our race. Now, I got a question for you, brother. What document, because you said you got genealogy, what genealogical document verifies that you was already here? And it has to predate the 1500s, brother, before the white man came here. So what record you got? So you said genealogy. What is it?
Pottery. You got oral history. Next question. You're checkmated.
The genealogy record. I'm not talking about no.
Nigga, there is no fucking written record.
So you don't got
before
no
the 1500s. No Indian was writing on a piece of paper.
So you don't have no genealogy.
American Indians, yes, we do have genealogy, fool.
So what is your
documents that go to the colonial period, fool?
So your name and your ancestors is on the pottery. This is what you're saying.
You being retarded?
Hold on. I'm still moderating you niggas because y'all gonna be all over this. He answered your question, now he gets to ask you one. You have a question for YK, brother?
Yes, I do. So, what was the indigenous name of his self-proclaimed West African tribe for Africa? And it better not be no Greco-Roman name. It better not be no Arab name. It gotta be a name that the people chose for their land.
I don't know it, but at the end of the day, that does. If I just told you that it could have been called turtle soup, just like a lot of you niggas is running around here calling yourselves Indians. Your peoples didn't call you that. A lot of y'all are calling yourselves Moors. Y'all didn't call yourselves that. A lot of y'all. So don't ask me a question that you can't prove yourself. Now back
yes,
to
we
what
can. We can prove this.
I answered you. Now let me answer.
No, that's not simple. That's galloping. You have to be in order for you to be an Aboriginal.
That's my question, brother.
No, nigga, we're gonna keep this progressive, nigga. Let him answer the damn question.
Thank you, sir. Now, how does pottery prove your genealogy? Meaning your where you come from. Make that make sense.
So how does pottery prove that? It's a part of archaeology, right? And that's a part of genealogy. Hello. So how in the world can you sit up here and criticize the definition of Aborigine, but you can't even prove your Aboriginal status to Africa without having a fucking name to your fucking landmass?
Is that your question?
Answer the question.
Is that your question?
Cool. Answer the goddamn question.
Because unlike you, I actually.
All right. So now let's go a step further. Right? Let's talk about pottery real quick. So I dropped this article from 2019. It says ancient fingerprints show men and women both made pottery in the American Southwest. And then here's the images, right? going through. Now, these images that you're looking at are specifically dealing with fingerprints in the pottery. But peep this. In Pueblo, however you say it, Pablo, I say Pablo, Pueblo. Communities in New Mexico and Arizona, pottery is a skill that is traditionally passed down from grandmothers and mothers to younger women of the community. This custom was thought to have ancient origins, and archaeologists believed about 1,000 years worth of ceramics were crafted primarily by women in what is now the southwestern United States. But a new study of pottery of Chaco Canyon in northwestern New Mexico, the center of early ancestral Pueblo culture 8 to 1,200 years ago, shows men and women were getting their hands dirty at almost equal rates. That's a little summary real quick. So let's go a step further, right? Because that's just how I roll. I roll a step further. So in support of that, reconstructing sexual division of labor from fingerprint of ancestral Puebloan pottery. Puebloan. Y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. All right. So the evolution of sexual division of labor within human societies is difficult to reconstruct because of the scarcity of direct evidence recovered from archaeological contexts. And yet many disciplines make assumptions regarding how labor first became specialized in our species. We propose an innovative method for identifying the sex of potters through the analysis of fingerprint impressions recovered from material culture. An application of method to ancient pottery demonstrates that males and females were both significantly involved in producing vessels. The study further suggests that the exact proportion of each sex involved in pottery mix was quite fluid and may have varied among different groups in the same community, as well as change from generations to generations. Let me stop real quick before I move on. Now, in what Ling Ling was saying in his argument, that the whole pottery stuff comes up, and he said that there was fingerprints. Those fingerprints are not going to tell you, they're not going to tell you, they're not going to identify a particular person. They're not. They're not going to identify. Back then, that pottery is not going to do that. 8,000, 10,000 years ago, you can't do that. There's no database that has been created and established to even recognize that who this particular person is. And what I mean by that is this. So when you're a baby, or when you have a baby, watch what they do when you have a baby. Watch what they do. Not give you this little card that's got your baby's footprint on it. If you've ever committed a crime before and you just go into central booking, I don't care if it's a misdemeanor or whatever the case may be, what is the first thing they do? Right? They ain't got that 8 to 10,000 years ago. They have no way of identifying who the hell this person is and how it's going to go back to you. But let's continue to build, because we're getting somewhere, because we have significant evidence here that has been shown in one of our sources that's relevant to this discussion. So again, sexual dimorphism and finger ridge at breath measurements, a tool for sex estimation from fingerprints. This is as best as we're going to get around acknowledging whose fingerprints was on what back in the day. We don't know who these people are, where they come from, right? When we're dealing with these fossilized records or this archaeological record, but we can make a distinguishment between the ridges of the fingertips versus men and women as if you've ever known or paid attention to a woman's hands in your hands. They're going to look a little bit different. Them prints are going to look a little bit different. But anyway, so this is what this study does: measure those specifics. So what if the woman has really large hands that's making clay? What do you say about that? You know, there's other research questions that goes into this, but none of these are thought about in this discussion. So previous research has demonstrated significant sexual dimorphism and free. I just basically read the same thing, but this is just more to the study. So I'm not going to break it down to you. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and tell you what it is right here. Beginning and ending in the valley, done with the 10 parallel ridges with no obstructions to minutia was measured in a sample of 250 males and females. N equals 500. Okay, so you got 250 males and 250 females, a total of 500 people that are participating in the study. The results demonstrated statistically significant differences in the ridge breadth between males and females, with classification accuracy for each digit varying from 83 to 83.2% to 89.3%. Classification for the left hand, which is applicable for cases where the digit number cannot be determined. Weight, stature, and to a lesser degree, body mass index also significantly correlate with the ridge breadth and account for the degree of overlap between males and females. Moving on, science works. We got this article by the Sapien. This was dropped on people back in August of last year, and it speaks what pots say and don't say about people. All right, so I'm not going to give you everything about it, but you're going to get this. A grave with a pot, right? Who made this? The visit liaison, Rudini Wali, asked as he pulled a porcelain fragments from the screen, used to shake it, excavated dirt off archaeological finds. Excuse me. We were on Ujur, an island in eastern Indonesia, in 2018. Our show was struck pieces of a bowl painted with birds, flowers, and landscape in blue and white. Not just that, though. A skull protruded from the outside of this hole. We had started to expose a burial tools down. We knew that the spirit world is very much alive in Ujir. We carefully filled the hole and went to consult the village mayor. You close the hole? No problem then, said mayor. Just don't dig there anymore. Of course not, I said, but there's something else. We found pieces of this bowl in the same place. It may connect to the burial. Should I rebury it? I, in a fragment, the mayor replied, you're here to study broken things, aren't you? Well, this is broken. No need to rebury it. Tell me where it's from. His questions wasn't so different from Houdini's. Could the porcelain tell us something about the person who made it and perhaps the one who lay it in the ground beside it? This is an old but still relevant archaeological problem, what scholars call the "are pots people" question. How much of someone's identity can we determine from the things they left behind? We archaeologists have tried to connect materials with less tangible aspects of people's culture from the field's beginnings. Many early attempts proved misleading as new evidence arose. In some cases, though, thinking about the pots as links to the peoples can add meaning to an otherwise dry explanation. The idea is intuitive, sometimes due to their environments or perhaps from random chance. Distinct groups of people make the same basic item differently. This is especially true with pottery. A potter can mold clay in any shape, add sand or any material, decorate it and fire in it different ways for a spectacular broad range of qualities. Apart from the holding something and perhaps withstanding heat, there are a few absolute requirements for what pot should be. However, archaeologists often come across pottery that looks standardized. Although it is not mass-produced, some powerful force must have kept the pots from one place or from many places across space and time looking alike. That force is social learning, knowledge and beliefs. about how to do things passed from person to person within social connected groups. If we see distinctive features repeated in pots or stone points, beads, baskets, and more in a particular society, there must have been some consensus about how to make them that was transmitted through social learning. Then it follows, perhaps, the pot makers also agreed on other things: language, the best way to live, shared idea of how universe came into being. It's not absurd to think that a pot might signify a broad set of values or group identity. I wanted to lay that on y'all real quick before I even expound into something a little bit further that comes up in this stupid ass discussion. So let me get him back on the screen so we can walk this down. And no, he does not understand archaeology, and he definitely, I don't think, understands genealogy as it is taught.
Have real records that say my great grandparents were
before the 1500s.
Bro, let me finish.
Answer the question, brother. Answer the question, bro.
That say they were born in Africa. Now, what is the name of pottery that proves that you are indigenous to America? We need to know the name of this pottery, sir.
The Etowah pottery.
What's the name of it?
You got the Etowah mound pottery.
You said the Etowah, so now you Etowah.
Yes, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yes, these are Muskogean people.
What's your question, brother? What's your question?
LOL. They take place. Hold on, clown. They take place.
What's your question, brother?
This is how retarded you are. You say, oh, you claiming 10 different American tribes. Nigga, these are a part of the Muskogean culture. This is how you're ignorant. You don't study.
Go ahead, brother.
So my question to you is, how can you prove that you are from Africa using colonial records and you don't have any evidence you're from Africa in the 1500s like you just asked me?
All right. So real quick, let me tell y'all who the Etowah. All right. Modern day Bartow, Cass County falls within the Etowah Valley of Northwest Georgia, which grew out of the prehistoric Mississippian period and woodland cultures. So you're dealing with the Mississippian period and woodland cultures. These periods are mostly undocumented except for geographical traces and artifacts that remain of these previous civilizations. The most tangible of these remains in Bartow County are the famed Etowah Indian mounds, to have been built by Mississippian culture. The county was once dotted within a network of mounds, but because of erosions, farming, flooding, road constructions, and development, these mounds have disappeared. Most sites or villages are found on waterways, such as rivers, creeks, and along banks. The larger communities typically build defensive palisades and moats around the settlements. The mound area still reveals evidence of native civilizations, including 3 earth mounds, defensive moat ditch that surrounded the village V-shape, river rock fish traps, and artifacts contained in museums. Among all the artifacts discovered at the Etowah Indian mounds, the most prized is a pair of carved marble statues. The 2 effigies are figures of a male and female and likely used in ceremonial worship. The primary temple is the tallest Indian mound in Georgia at 67 feet, reaches over 7 stories high. Recent archaeological excavations suggest that these mound builders may have ancient origins to Mexico regarding mound construction, pottery imagery, and introduction of corn to this area. However, traditional academians and archaeologists are slow to embrace this theory. The Etowah or Etaba, pronounced today as Etowah, is a Muskogee Creek word meaning town or trail crossing. The chronology of this settlement covers 3 phases. In the early Mississippian period of about 1000 AD to the final Mississippian phase of 1550 AD. It is thought that the peak of mound construction activity was about 1250 AD. During the decline of the Mississippian period, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto is recorded to have visited the mound area in 1540s near the Etowah River for 9 days. The purpose of his expedition was to locate gold and other riches. Following the demise of the Mississippian period, subsequent civilizations to inhabit Bardo were the Creek and Cherokee Indians. The Creek are considered to be direct descendants of the Mississippian culture. The Cherokee eventually pushed the Creek southwest from Bardo County and settled into introducing their culture and influence. Hightower was an alternate name used by the Cherokee for the Etowah River during the Cherokee occupation. This included settlement across the river adjacent to the Etowah Indian mounds. The Mississippian period is often identified by pottery decorations that include stamping, polishing, incision, and painting designs. Lodging or housing is often confused with the teepees in Western Plains Indians. Actually, housing was made of local materials, including mud huts, and was called wattle or daub construction. So, in this study, we examine the material relationships between Mississippian peoples and potential living Native American descendants in Eastern North America. First, we present new ancient DNA results from American Bottom and Illinois River Valley Mississippians buried at the East St. Louis, J.B. Good, and Yoakum sites in Illinois. Our results increase the sample size of Mississippian mitochondrial DNA to facilitate population comparisons with ancient and extinct groups. Our results show that Mississippians were genetically diverse, with all 5 major Native American haplogroups being represented. We show that within the haplogroup diversity was maintained across an 800-year time span, except in the case of the haplogroup D, in which ancient lineages were more diverse. Finally, we show that Native American genetic diversity appears to have been structured geographically, as Midwestern groups from all time periods are more similar to one another than those from outlying regions. It's an 81-page article. You can get all into it. Look at fingerprint show. Ha 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 ha. But we can get into more stuff here if we wanted to, but this is the genetic legacy of the Mississippian people. Yep. You know, I'm gonna give you some to deal with when it comes to that information. You know what I mean? All right, so let me see if I got something else for y'all as it pertains to that. Nope. All right, there we go. So let me unshare, reshare again so we can get into, what's this one? Let me bring this source down. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring this one down right here. Etowah. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna bring that info, bro. I ain't on that speculation.
Okay. Now, if I have ancestors that were born in Africa, they would have to come from Africa. So that automatically predates the 15.
Without an indigenous name.
Brother, that would prove that they wasn't already here. That's simple. Now, I got another question for you, right? You said the Etowah pottery. What is the pottery? Don't say Etowah pottery. What type of Etowah pottery?
Vases.
All right.
Yes.
So, okay. Now, what's your question, brother?
Again, like I said, how can you come from that place if you don't have an Aboriginal name for that shit? You're using European words.
Okay. We'll say that again.
How can you sit up here and lie to the people that you come from a place where you didn't even name the shit? You just going off a European measuring stick.
So basically, I'm answering a question that I already answered again. I'll answer it again because, like I said, they could call it anything. That place still exists. Just like if you was to get on a plane, fuck it, you could call it whatever you like. If you want to say, wake up and say, I'm gonna name this bitch Turtle Island, you can name it Turtle Island, but because it's named Turtle Island doesn't mean it's not there, or does it mean I don't come from there? No, that's a dumb logic. Now I got a question for you, brother. Right? You saying that you have these bases that proves this is who you are. So is there anything that's written on those vases that lets you know this is who you are? How do we know that vase proves who you are, brother?
Oh Lord, Jesus Christ. People did not write in the English language on the vase. They drew pictures on it. So can you decipher pictures as a writing system? No.
Yes, you can. Pictograms. Pictograms. What the hell you think the higher? What do you think Meta Nature is? Sesh Meta Nature. It's a writing system. What do they use for the writing system? I'm gonna give an example of what I'm referring to people in the chat. Let me get on my phone real quick. Hold on. So let me give you an example of using pictures to mean something. All right. Hold on. Let me see how many people will catch this. Let's see. I almost got it. Let me get so I just dropped some in the chat. Can somebody tell me what I'm saying right here? Or better yet, I'm gonna do this too. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do another one. Let me see. Y'all might get this one. Let me do it like this. Let me do it like this. That'll be a better one. So I put the other one in the chat. You see what I'm saying? Vasa put one in there too. Vasa put a couple in there. Yep, everything. I already said it. I see you. But those are pictures. So how do you know what I'm saying? According to Ling Ling, you should know what I'm saying. According to Ling Ling. Right. So pictograms is a graphical symbol that conveys meaning through its visual resemblance to a physical object. Pictograms are used in systems of writing and visual communication. What did he just say?
Pictures on it. So can you decipher pictures as a writing system? No.
He said, can you? And then he said, no. Well, he's wrong.
So can you decipher pictures as a writing system? No.
See how easily that you can refute what he's saying because he doesn't know what he's saying. He's just making shit up as he goes. When we just simply used a great example of what we're talking about, they were using pictograms 9,000 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. In the earliest writing systems. So again, easy to refute, but let's continue.
So I ask to you again, how can you prove that you come from that place overseas if you do not have any extra details but a language that was given to you by a Greco-Roman and a white supremacist telling you that you come from someplace else and you can't even be from here?
Since I'm gonna be answering the same question all night, I'm gonna just keep answering it different ways in the same way. And I'm
you can't answer it the same way. You gotta answer it differently. I'm giving you different questions, answers.
Let me answer you. Simple. The same way you guys call yourselves American Indians, they wasn't calling themselves American.
Call ourselves specific names.
The same way you guys are calling yourselves American Indians and a lot of these names, because Yamasees, that starts with the letter Y. All of those letters are English letters. So the same way you're using European letters is the same way I'm using European letters. Now, back to what I was asking you. What vase, how does a vase tell who your great-great-parents are, and it improves your genealogy? How is that logically possible?
Right. Use that in archaeology, like I fucking said, and archaeology is a part of genealogy. It's a point of reference that your people were here. They got genetics on that pottery. So
they got
yeah, you say like you.
Whoa. How can you find genetics on that pottery? Let's go back.
Use that in
improves your genealogy. How is that logically possible?
Right. So they use that in archaeology, like I fucking said, and archaeology is a part of genealogy. It's a point of reference that your people were here. They got genetics on that pottery. So
they got genetics.
Again, like you say, like you like to use, like, I'm not this, because you like to use that coctogen furnace shit. So how can you prove these people are fucking African when you don't even have that oral history of these?
Listen, everybody knew that he was full of shit the moment that he said fingerprints on pottery, and then he said it's got genetics on the pottery. Tell me how many people that you know that you've been able to sequence an artifact. See, listen to me, y'all. Sequence an artifact to extract DNA from it. How can you extract DNA from pottery? How? We leave DNA everywhere we go, but it damn sure ain't gonna be on no pottery. They need saliva, some blood, and that shit has to last a long time, bro. Because what we're having a biological discussion about being in this land before white people got here. So the best answer to that is going to be genetic evidence. And here we are with a dude said a freaking pot. A freaking pot. You can extract DNA from pottery. Can't make this shit up.
These bones. Also, you don't even have these fucking people's relatives. You don't have these other genetic samples that disprove the African slave ship story.
That's your
So
question.
what are you talking about? You anti-archaeology now? What is this shit?
Let me answer your
My
question.
question is, are you anti-archaeology?
Hold on, brother, because you asked one question. I'm listening very well. You said, how come? Because they actually have the genetics of those people, and they have the genetic information of those people. It's people that's alive today that share those same genetics, which you just slipped up and just daggered yourself, because you act like I didn't hear you say it was genetics on that vase. But you had to catch yourself really quick, though. I'm listening, brother.
Catch
You said
myself?
they got genetics. So now you believe in DNA. I'm not finished. Now you believe in DNA. So this is my question. Because I have a, let me finish, Bill. Let me finish elaborating on what you said, and then I'm gonna answer my question. If I had a damn rock in my hand, right, and I said, "Look, I have this rock right here, and this rock take me back to my people." How? We don't even know where you got this shit from. How does that verify your genealogy, brother? It doesn't.
Right. So genetics deals with the food you eat, the fucking the people that you're fucking related to, your fucking eye color, your fucking hair texture, all of that shit, right? So how do you figure out a fucking race through a fucking continental paradigm through fucking Carl Linnaeus, nigga? A Crayola crayon concept assignment to continents, your evidence.
What's your question, brother?
Are you retarded, bro?
All right, so that's not how it works. For one,
yeah, it is, because methodology is through eugenics.
So he makes the claim that he makes the claim that YK methodology is through eugenics. But I just wanted to say this real quick without, everybody should know what genetics is. If you don't know what genetics is, it's basically the studies of genes, right? Genetic variations and heredity in organisms. That's a simple wiki term, right? Heredity in general and genes in particular. That's all you studying. So all this other stuff that he's talking about is really delusional. But we're going to let him talk. We're gonna let YK answer, and then we're gonna get into something else he's getting ready to use against YK.
Let me answer you. Because we are actually matching the people that's in Africa today. Like, I have a match from somebody that's in Africa today. So
yeah, you can have an overlapping match to people in Europe and America.
Bite my tongue. Let me finish, bro. So if I'm using DNA today to find my matches and shit, you can't say it's Crayola nothing, bro. I'm still trying to fathom your magical vase that tells you who your people are, and you sitting here acting like I'm supposed to believe your magical vase proves who you are. So once again,
we gotta believe in your forgetful tree magic.
Hold on. Hold on, brother. I know there's no dumb ass. There's nobody dumb on this platform, bro. How the fuck does a vase? Vase is archaeology, not genealogy, brother.
Yeah, that is also genealogy too, by the way.
No, it's not. It's archaeology.
Yeah, it is.
It's genealogy. It's genealogy.
Land.
Hold on. It's genealogy if somebody left something on it that verifies who they were, brother. Because we don't know who gave it to you. You could have been a grave robber, a grave digger. So just because a European could be holding on to some shit from America. So because he got it now, that means that's his people, brother? You're not making no sense. So once again, how does a fucking vase prove who you are? You haven't answered it yet.
How does you claiming to be circled around a forgetful tree magic? No, you just get galloped several.
The question.
How does several bullshit to try and filibuster and say your African claim? So
how does a vase prove your genealogy, brother? I'm not gonna let you stop.
You got people's fingerprints on that vase, right? that constructed the pottery, right? People carbon date that shit too, right?
All right. So what's your question now? Because you answered.
Hello.
What's your question?
Bro, you beat yourself up every fucking time.
You just said some fingerprints.
Oh my goodness, bro. You keep beating yourself up.
Go ahead.
How the hell can you believe that you come from Africa when those fucking genetics overlap to other populations?
What's your
You
question?
cannot prove you are an African when those billions of base pairs cannot point to nobody.
So as I stated before, he's saying a lot of anything, but I'm trying to let him get this other part out real quick.
I just gave you a question.
What's your question?
You just blurted out. How can you use that DNA shit to prove you come from Africa when all those populations overlap with those billions of base pairs?
No.
Then you're getting into claiming that we come from a race.
So that's your question? That's your question?
You
all right.
clown?
All right, yes. I'm not gonna call you no names, bro.
Hold on, y'all can't hear this shit, can you? Y'all just sitting here letting this shit rock. Y'all couldn't hear this shit? Or y'all could? What up, D1? What's good with you, brother? So real quick, the dude kept saying base pair this, base pair that. So I don't think that he understands what base pairs are. So I'm gonna say this for y'all. A base pair consists of two. Okay, a base pair consists of two complementary DNA nucleotide bases that pair together to form a rung of the DNA ladder. DNA is made of two linked strands that wind around each other to resemble a twisted ladder, as in the picture below. A shape known as the double helix, each strand has a backbone made of an altering sugar and phosphate groups. Attached to each sugar is one of four bases, adenine, cytosine, and guanine, right? Or thymine. The two strands are held together by hydrogen bonds between pairs of bases, adenine pairs, and thymine and cytosine pairs, and with guanine. So it's all right here, right? You know, you saying the damn shit, bro. Like, this is an example, but he doesn't know what it is. He's just saying some stuff, and he's unfamiliar. Now, oh, he ain't said this yet, so I don't want to go too far. So there's a couple of more things that he's going to get into, and let him get into those things, and then I can double back. Yeah, I can knock the rest of it out. What up, Ogun? What's good with you? Kevin Troy? Ling Ling is fucking stupid.
Beat your ass intellectually. So you're basically saying some shit that don't make sense. You're not going to be sharing all these genetic similarities with these people in Africa if you don't have a common ancestor. That's hands down. Now, let me ask you a question back to the shit. So are you telling me that fingerprints were on fucking base for thousands and thousands of years, bro? That has to be the most dumbest shit I've ever heard, bro. And I'll keep beating you up. So what proves...
How is it a dumb thing? This is how special needs this nigga is. Look, have you ever touched pottery? Are you an artist?
Fingerprints, bro.
Are you an artist, nigga?
That's your question?
No.
Let me ask you a question. No, you only get one question. You only get one question, brother. You only get one question and wasted it. No, I'm not an artist. Now, let me answer the question.
Right. So you ain't never touched pottery. So you can't come here and say, that's the dumbest thing ever.
All right, so you asked the question, so let me answer you. No, I'm not an artist. Now, let's go back to this 10,000 years.
And so you ain't never touched a vase. You ain't never made a vase. You ain't never made a mug for your mama when you was a little kid to say number one. Hold on.
Brother, am I an artist? I said no. Now, let me ask you a question, brother. When you're dealing with, everybody knows when you're dealing with fingerprints, right? Your fingerprints are something that's unique, right? So are you saying that your fingerprints matches the fingerprints of the people that existed thousands of years ago, even though fingerprints, nobody has the same fingerprints at all. So how the fuck, flying fuck, are you using fingerprints to prove who you are? Let's make it make sense.
Hold on. Aren't you familiar with CSI? You love genetics and using science, right? Hold on. How stupid this nigga is. So CSI also uses craniometrics. It also uses fingerprints. It also uses sperm samples. It uses DNA, right? But you can't figure out what a person's race is through some haplogroup babble. You gotta figure out through other means like craniometrics.
Got you. Now, what's your?
All right, so there we go. Let's nip this shit in the bud because a lot of abos love to use this argument and it's out of ignorance. So I want to keep this simple. This is basically a knowledge form, and we hear about that. Craniometry is a scientific field that involves measuring various aspects of the skull, such as the size, shape, and in order to study correlations with brain size, intelligence, and personality traits in humans. It is a subset of anthropometry, which focuses on measuring the anatomical sizes of the head and face. However, craniometry has been discredited as a pseudoscience due to its lack of scientific rigor and reliance on flawed assumptions. All of them in that community always talk about brain measurements. And for the life of me, we have been telling these people that it is a pseudoscience for quite some time. It has been refuted. So I leave in my description, I gave you the summary, but I leave in the description a nice article or two or three, right? Look, y'all can see them relating to why it is a pseudoscience and more, right? You're going to see them come through if you're just paying attention over there. You can go and look at what's going on and related information, etc. So we know this for a fact. Now, he also talked about haplogroups. You heard him say that, but he doesn't know what a haplogroup is. So just to keep it skinny and sweet and short, haplogroups are genetic classifications or ancestral groupings within a population. I'm going to say this one more time. It is the genetic classification or ancestral grouping within a population. So before the European was here and our black asses was here, there were 4 haplogroup types: A, B, C, and D. And then you had X being the 5th haplogroup type. Okay? A, B, C, D, and X come from the Bering Straits back into northern and northeastern Siberia. Let's just keep it a buck. It's how they come, and their mutations, right? They're mutations of admixed groups. Now, these haplogroups come about because of isolation. So these markers are passed down from a common ancestor. That goes back to what YK the Truth told him earlier in the video. How do you get those genetic markers? Those genetic markers have a common ancestor. It's just that simple. So those haplogroups A, B, C, D, and X share common, and each group shares a common ancestor with something else. What is that something else that they share that common ancestry with? Goes back to what makes A, B, C, D, and X. It's going to take you back to Siberia, northeastern Siberia, and the likes. Let's move forward. They can be traced through the analysis of mitochondrial DNA. You heard YK say something about mitochondrial DNA and its significance. It doesn't tell you your race. It tells you where you descend from, who your genetically related to according to a population. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of us in the Americas who are quote unquote African American are the majority of our genetic makeup. This is why we see the haplogroups that we see. The majority of our genetic makeup comes from West and Central Africa. Those of us who are Black in America. West and Central Africa, right? We share common ancestry with people from West and Central Africa. Our other side of our DNA is going to point us to Europe, and it's going to show that we share a small portion of our DNA, smaller portion of our admixture with people in Europe. Some might have some other places, but there'll be smaller percentages. So there's a grouping there. You either have a large groupings of people from West and Central Africa, those of you of African American, and a small minute of those from Europe, or vice versa. That your admixture explains your story. It tells you at some point your larger group came across a smaller group, and I'm saying a smaller population or a European population or person somewhere down in your ancestry encountered your Africanness and got it in. That speaks to the story of what happened to our ancestors who made it from West and Central Africa across the waters into the Americas. It should be that simple. Haplogroups provide insights into human populations. Again, haplogroups provide insights into human populations. He keeps thinking that a haplogroup is going to tell you that you're Black, white, red, or indifferent. No, we all know that race is a social construct. But this is how you cross your T's and dot your I's. This puts you at a landmass, a vicinity of where your history, your story, your background, your ancestry is located. So haplogroups provide insights into human populations. Historical migrations. The slave trade was a historical event. The people coming into the Americas via the land bridge, being the first people, was a historical event. It was a part of an evolutionary history. Both events helping researchers and genealogists understand the genetic relationships and ancestral origins of individuals and groups. What up, not a C? So he doesn't understand what haplogroups are. He doesn't understand that craniometry is a pseudoscience, right? He doesn't understand those things. Now I'm gonna let him take it a step further, and then I'm dropping the link if anybody want to build. If not, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna get on down the yellow brick road. But let's get back to the video, and so I can get to my last few sources.
My question is, how can you prove you are West African without using a white man's measuring stick?
For one, let me answer you. For one, Rick, I know, pause, no beat. For one, Rick Kittles is a Black man who has his own thousands and thousands of African database that the white man don't even got. So I answered your question. Now let me go back to my question. How? Because now you go up to genealogy, bro. I got a whip on your ass, no diddy. How do you use fingerprints to trace your genealogy when fingerprints are unique? Don't talk about craniology, DNA. You said fingerprints on that base proves your genealogy. So how does fingerprints prove your genealogy if they're unique, brother?
For one, you can't prove with fingerprints alone.
Oh my God.
They also use bodies to connect those people to that pottery, right?
So now they got bodies.
Yes. Those fingerprints have bodies, right? And guess what? Those people are also related to niggas. Hello. So again,
and I'm dying. So they got bodies. So what's your question?
Yes.
Brother? I want to have you the opportunity to ask a question as well. What's your question?
Yes, Negro.
All right, what's your question?
So again,
ask me a
just
question.
like you want to claim to be from West Africa.
You answered it, brother.
No. Just like you want to claim you from Africa, right? What tools do they use to make a connection to Black Americans if all they're using is lookership?
All right, so I basically just explained what I just explained, but it lets you know that he's not listening to YK, because YK did tell you that we're looking at DNA to answer. Excuse me, to help point us into knowing who we are as a people, right? And there's more to the article that can get into all of that, but I don't want to go back to that article. I want to get to this other point. So I'm gonna let YK answer his question, and then I'm gonna wrap it up with this other shit.
Uh-huh.
Answer the question.
Yes, sir. I will gladly. For one, you have something that's called mitochondria DNA that doesn't change, actually stays the same. So if you and let's say somebody else in Africa have those same genetic markers, that would mean that your common ancestor was the same. So there's so many tools. You do know DNA is a tool. I mean, you just said it. You said CSI use DNA. So I'm starting to low-key believe
Not just that they use craniometrics.
Don't stop, bro.
All types of shit.
All right, let me finish answering.
But you didn't answer the question. How did they prove?
Answering the question.
Are you answering the question? How did they prove the African shit if they're using looker shit?
Let me
What's the question?
Let me finish, brother. Because they're not cool. They're not only using looker shit. That's what you fail to realize that, bro. I got records, prove shit, the 1880 census. I got my great grandfather World War I draft card that proved this shit, bro. You got history. Smoke made something very clear today, brother. Smoke made something clear. Smoke said, why the fuck is so many niggas saying they from Africa, but ain't no fucking body saying they Indian, bro? I'm about to write a fucking book of all the narratives of motherfuckers saying, yo, my peoples got snatched off that. They got put on that boat. Thousands. But I can't find one motherfucker that said he was already here. A nigga that said, yo, my peoples was already here, bro. You can't find it. That's a discrepancy that you guys got to live with, brother. Now, let me ask my question. How the fuck did you get from a fingerprint to a body? Now, what body do you have that proves your DNA, brother? I mean, proves your genealogy. What's the name of this body, brother?
Brother, we got all types of fucking bodies, like Guadalupe. We got the people that's buried in the cypress caskets in Louisiana French Quarter.
All right, so let's get to his last little bit. If you missed what he said, listen again.
They said my peoples was already here. You can't find it. That's a discrepancy that you guys gotta live with, brother. Now let me ask my question. How the fuck did you get from a fingerprint to a body? Now, what body do you have that proves your DNA, brother? I mean, proves your genealogy. What's the name of this body, brother?
Brother, we got all types of fucking bodies, like Guadalupe. We got the people that's buried in the cypress caskets in Louisiana.
All right, so he said Guadalupe. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know why he would say Guadalupe, but I'm gonna start you at Wiki. and then we're gonna go back. I'm gonna start your wiki, then we're gonna go where we need to go, because this is crazy, bro. I think I'm gonna start your wiki. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna start your wiki. All right, you should be able to see the screen. So here's Our Lady of Guadalupe. I'm gonna say this real quick and short. The Spanish brought this over with them, right? No cap. This is all Spanish syncretism. Guadalupe is syncretism. I don't know why he would use this to mean anything. Our Lady Guadalupe. This ain't even a real person. It's not. It's not a real person. So how do we know what we know about this is simple. The Codex of Escalada, Codex 1548, right? I know y'all can't see it. Now you probably can because I did the zoom. It is a pictorial manuscript on a sheet of parchment made from deerskin on which there have been drawn in ink images of tall text depicting the appreciation of Our Lady Guadalupe to San Juan Diego. If authentic and if correctly dated to the mid-16th century, the document supplies a gap in the writing record as to the antiquity of the tradition regarding the apparitions. The cult of the Virgin of Tepeyac, Guadalupe, is well established as originating from that era within this document. The document features a couple of places named, I can't say that word, which is known from other sources to be native name of Juan Diego, although the normal orthography from the mid-16th century is that same weird-ass name with a Q. This document is difficult to read because of the presence of creases along both axes and deep yellowish tint. However, the main images can be distinguished. The main pictorial elements of the document are a rocky landscape with sparse foliage and a small man in distance. The face, a woman's face, shows great compassion. The Indians felt that the face was the window of the inner person, a means by which one could read whose a person was, the way a person would act. A good woman to the Indians was one whose femininity showed in the face. The head of the woman in the images shows her with dark skin and dark hair like that of the Indians. Hands, her hands are not poised in the traditional Western style of prayer, but in an Indian manner of offering, indicating that something is being offered, that something is to come to her. Maternity band. The maternity band around the waist was the sign of a pregnant woman, a mother who is about to give birth. It was a sign to the Indians that someone is yet to come. The stars on the mantle are a sign of the new civilization era and beginning. The Indian tradition recognizes the end of the beginning, different eras through the ages, and destruction of a particular civilization or era was always accompanied by a comet or a body of stars, sun rays. In the image recalled the Indians that the sun played a key role in the civilization. Both in women in the images are greater than even the sun. She hides the sun, and the only rays come forth. She hides the sun, but does not extinguish it. A mantle. The predominant color of the images of the mantle was turquoise and blue-green color reserved for the great god Omichal. Although the Indians had many intermediary gods, Amadhat was considered the supreme god. It was a mother father god who sometimes was represented as a man, sometimes a woman. It was a source of unity for everything that exists. You got the moon. The woman is standing on the moon, indicating that she is greater than the god of night, the moon god. Angel, the angel at the bottom of the image was seen by the Indians as an intermediary god, carrying in the new era, the beginning of new civilizations. One era was at the end, had died, and a new one was beginning, was born. So Yeah, here you have it. And this whole thing goes back into the 1600s. So this ain't even indigenous, right? Guadalupe is not indigenous to the Americas. So why would he say Guadalupe? What particular body or person that he is referring to that this could actually be, that he was speaking of in that conversation? It can't be this Guadalupe. Can't be this Guadalupe. To double down on that, right, here's a 2013 article that talks about the historiography and the apparition of Guadalupe right here in the Codex. So here's a general description that you also can read. It's in the description of this video, and it will provide you with more insight. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing more than the Spanish syncretizing their traditions and beliefs into the minds and hearts of the indigenous people that were in the Americas. They were superimposing their religious beliefs on them. That's what this is. And they brought with them this. See? They brought with them this shit. The Virgin Mary style shit. Is it? So I don't understand how people could come to the conclusion that they're coming to on a live stream talking about we got the body of Guadalupe. What the fuck? Like, for real. See? More of that. That same image. The Spanish knew exactly what they were doing. They were brainwashing the indigenous people, selling them their beliefs and traditions so that they can control them and do what needed to be done to jack them up out their land and natural resources. But yes, this is a whole thing that is provided to you, and I wanted to make sure, even those of you who are indigenous to the Americas and still hold true to your beliefs, this is a sign of where that shit comes from. For those of you who practice this shit. And this continues. So there's, part 11, you go through all of this. There's more to it. As you can see me clicking, and it provides more. All of the major features of the images, including the crown race, blah, 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 blah. This explains all of that. So when someone starts trying to make up some shit, you actually can box them in right here. This ain't even an indigenous figure. This ain't an indigenous cult. Nothing about Guadalupe is even talking about a real goddamn person. So I wanted to spin that on y'all real quick to let you know that there's primary evidence out there already. We ain't got to make nothing up. So again, he started with a fingertip. He started with a fingertip. Right? Everybody remember that. A fingerprint, not fingertip, a fingerprint on a freaking pot. Then said he got balls. I mean, he got a body. So it was basically, that was a shit show. I don't know what show it is. I don't know if YK the Truth lost any brain cells and he trying to, get his brain cells back so he resting. But it's crazy. Christos Negros of Central America and Mexico. Christos Negros of Central America and Mexico. The Christos Negros, or Black Christ of Central America and Mexico, trace their origins to the veneration of an image of Christ on a cross located in the Guatemalan town of Escopulas, near the Honduran and Salvadorian border. This image was sculpted in 1595 in wood, and over time it blackened and gained reputation for being miraculous. Little is known of how veneration of this image was spread by clergy, although there are records of its introduction in various locations, especially in Central America, Southern Mexico, Central Mexico, and even as far north as Mexico. So there y'all have it. Here's why they think motherfuckers is black over here, because somebody did some shit in the late 1500s. We got Voss in the building, acting as Bubba.
What's good, bro?
What's going on?
Yeah, you'll find a lot of that. I tried to track down where they was coming from, and I think it's like a St. Peter's or something like that, an Ethiopian church over in close to the Vatican. That's basically Ethiopian, or they call it Ethiopian. That's as close as I can get to trying to find the origins of all those Negro Christ. And you hit it on the head with syncretism. I mean, that's basically what it is. But there's hundreds of those things. They all over the damn place.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And at the end of the day, that's how the renditions come to be. This is not an indigenous. This is nothing that is indigenous to these people. The Spanish brought these traditions, this Virgin Mary shit. It's even saying it right there. The priest had a tree cut down and brought to the parish and announced he would have it sculpted into an image of Virgin Mary. It's just like that, man. They were mixing and matching, and it's syncretism. They superimposed their beliefs on the indigenous people and made them inherit. Well, didn't make them, but converted them right to this shit. They did what they did. That's what this whole Black Christ figurine shit come on, man. We ain't gotta make nothing up. But I don't know why he said that he acted like the Guadalupe was a real person. That was crazy.
Because he don't know no better. That's from not reading in the confirmation bias of just clicking and clicking, looking for buzzwords once you start clicking. That we all agree that they just be making shit up. We know this.
Yeah, he definitely doing that. Yep. So what's up, man? Other than that, what everybody else got going on, man? I dropped the link in the chat. Everybody got it. You know what I'm saying? No Aboriginal power smoke. He avoiding it. He avoiding it all the way. Telling me to hit up. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. I already know what type of time I'm on. He already know what type of time I'm on. And I'm going to show y'all something. We don't need no audio from this nigga. But look at this. African Americans ain't Africans. We are Aboriginal to America. There's no evidence. Look at this. He play a video. You know what I'm saying? They got gossip channels, bro. It's gossip channels. It ain't no information on there. Ain't no information. It's gossip channels. They gossiping. They ain't edifying. This the reason why we know who we are. Because we do the research and the work. We don't start no live stream and just get the chirping. If we cut the live stream on, you best believe you about to get edified. He gonna run from that all day long. Same with Dane Calloway, etc. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got for tonight, man. Unless you got some Voss or somebody else want, or people who hate me, they don't come on this channel. Y'all got some? What's up? Even the people that hate me, man, they ain't even trying to get with the program. They do not want it. And that old whole ass nigga Smoke Signal live right now. And Aboriginal Power over there too. Y'all know Aboriginal Power was over.
Only add-on I got is go back to Miguel de Barriera and how once he established his little maroon camp and got his coronation, once he became dubbed the king, he set up a political body that looked like the church, but he would put those who knew, the African customs in certain positions. Like, they'll call it the shaman when you read it, but he'll put an African shaman as the priest so they could keep the traditions there, hence, the syncretism. But they was masking, the African practices through a political body that would have looked like Christianity to kind of keep them disoriented of what was taking place. Not us, but the Spanish and Portuguese. And this is happening around the same time as you start seeing the importation of those Black Christ carvings.
Somebody go tell me if my comment's still in the chat.
That's actually how I found those Black Christ, Sean was studying.
Look, when I comment, look at how scared they are. Look at Vino. Vino must be drunk. Oh boy, they let me comment a couple of times. I don't know if I'm blocked or not. So somebody go over there and look in the chat and see if my comments still right there. Appreciate that, sister IB. You know what it is. I'm trying to get the smoke, bro. I ain't gonna give it none. That's what not a coincidence is. He was. I bet you not a coincidence was here. Bit 5. Let's see. Nah, he couldn't have been because they ain't been live that long. Hour and a half. And he played music for about 30 minutes. Yep, and he sure did. Let me see. I ain't got my comments ain't showing this. I mean, we see I'm commenting, but I guarantee you the messages is deleted. It didn't even highlight Vino name. They're over there just gossiping. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying everything. Who went over there? Somebody gotta tell me, man. Let me switch the profile. Let me switch the profile and see if my comments is still there. They blocked me. I know they did. Whole ass. Shason said, "What's up to me?" I told. Oh, there go my comment. Okay, they ain't blocked me just yet. He must have said don't block me. He don't skip down. He don't skip town. He duck more than Daffy Duck. Yeah. Light man always on this man. Worship BS. Look at now. I told you, but not a coincidence. Was. Yeah. 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 Cowards. Get back on my shit. He must have told him don't block me, y'all. Appreciate it. Yeah, he don't want none, bro. He ain't listen. He don't want none. Look, I ain't got that. No. Yup. He said Sean, he a comedian, not a debater. I don't even know why this Nate dude is even. I just talk greaser than anybody. Hold on, y'all. Why he worried about what the P stand for? I'm disrespectful. I know it. I know y'all read my comments. I'm disrespectful. I don't care. They ain't muted me. I'm gonna say whatever I need to say to them. Why I can say it. I'll say everything disrespectful. I'm probably muted out now. No, I don't know. Y'all let me know if I'm. Hey, Ramon, can you still see my comments or they deleted it? Bossa, why you on mute?
What happened, Sean?
So out of the information that I presented today that actually kind of put things into perspective, people should have a great idea of what's going on in the world. Like when we listen to these fools, they ain't got no information. Ling Ling loves to misrepresent science, use scientific jargon to only then turn around and call DNA some BS. Like they just say the most weirdest stuff. Told you. You've been placed in timeout. It was a matter of time, bro. Yo, it was a matter of time. It was a matter of time, yo. It was a matter of time. Look at that. Look at Vino over that line. He see, now Vino can see that they blocked my page, bro. Look at, I'm tearing them up. You just got to keep them like that. Eugene said, Vino, why are you over here lying? Same way you blocked me, in my opinion. That's PE. Okay. PE didn't change his page. They got your other page blocked. Blocked again. You've been placed in timeout by the owner of this video or a moderator. Edit and try again. Yep, they timed me out. Not a coincidence will probably tell me who did it. Oh, never mind. I know who did it now. Told you. See, I ain't have to wait. I ain't have to wait or none of that. Not a coincidence was gonna tell me. And I think it was Sachi who probably did it. This nigga talking about get out the stands. Bro, let me see if I can type again. Nope. Yeah, it's done. My time trolling is done. Let me get on back over here. My bad, y'all. Dang, PE, they banned your pages, bro. That's crazy. I knew they was gonna remove my comments. Them they did it twice. Snatched me. It's all good. But nah, man, that's it. That's all I got, man. I'm cause ain't nobody trying to run up. Ain't nobody trying to run up over here.
Oh, they stuck in groupthink mode right now. How many views they got?
You can't really tell how many views because he bound.
That's horrible. But yeah, if he gets some attention, then he ain't about to move around. He getting his pseudo godship on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the chat get they group think. Not realizing, let's say it's anywhere between 45 and 100 of them. What percentage is that of African Americans on the whole that believe the bullshit that they believe in?
Not too many.
Right. You get what I'm trying to say by that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like they ain't even starting no petitions to be federally recognized, nothing. They just making noise on the internet. Look at me, look at me, look at me. That speaks
Yep.
volumes.
So do suck ass.
Not to mention, Sean, let's say they did have a way. Or fuck it, we found a way. We found a way to turn the whole story upside down. How many magazine covers and newspaper front pages and breaking news will we break on a national scale to sit back and say we was here before Columbus and could prove
Man,
it?
we be out over that shit. We be all over it, bro. We all be saying the same thing. We've been lied to. We found the evidence. We wouldn't be compressing it or running away from it. We would actually be, you know what I'm saying? We would expose the corruption, the hidden history. Like we would do that.
On campus using the white man science to debunk the white man science.
Right.
All
That's
of
how
it.
that's how they figured out that you know what I'm saying, that life started in Africa. Right? That's how they knew that white people was using science wrong. That's how they exposed the pseudosciences when they were talking about craniology and how they were trying and eugenics. Science proved that eugenics was a pseudoscience. Like people is crazy, bro. It's crazy. All the way crazy, bro. Can't make this shit up.
I just don't understand skipping all the way back and claiming credit for pottery, but not saying we invented electricity or the
Right.
car or PlayStations or you know what I mean? Anything useful that we actually use today. You want to go
Mm-hmm.
past all that and we invented goddamn deer pelts and moccasins.
We don't know shit about none of that shit. Why we can't make a TP from scratch if we've been here? Why we don't know our native names?
Sean, I know you had to go to at least one in your lifetime at the Thanksgiving functions. Family, friends, community, or whatever. Was it pumpkin or sweet potato pie there?
Sweet motherfucking potato.
You get
I
where
ain't
I'm
had a
going with this?
I ain't had a pumpkin pie in my life.
Don't make no sense.
Yeah,
I ain't never heard of a Native American R&B group.
me neither.
Maybe, I guess maybe the Barges. Ain't they Puerto Rican or something? I guess that would
Man,
kind of count.
they Puerto Rican and black.
Yeah, so where they at?
I don't know where they at, bro. But look, man, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Let y'all have it, bro. I appreciate all y'all tapping in. Bossy, you too with the info, bro. Y'all enjoy the rest of the day. Go over there and troll. Go over there and troll. Smoke signal them.
Yeah, I just pulled back up to the house. It's raining, so y'all have a good
Yeah.
one.
All right, y'all.
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all
Died
ain't
by
find
his
y'all?
own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all
I
did.
don't feel like you standing on business.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK. TKO. Now he's a con. OTK. You died. TKO. By your own genealogy.